magnificent for the strength. Bill Elliott posting a speed that is in excess of the track record, 212.809.
He goes by many nicknames: Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, $1 Million Bill, or Wild Bill. Regardless of what moniker you use, he will forever be remembered as the driver who set the fastest qualifying speed ever at Talladega. In 1987, William Clyde Elliott Sr., more popularly known as Bill Elliot, pushed his stock car to an astounding top speed of 212.809 miles per hour, a record that still stands unchallenged today. This legendary figure has earned his place in the NASCAR Hall of Fame and is ranked at the top of several of NASCAR's all-time lists. For a decade, the fans repeatedly crowned him the most popular driver, an accolade that showcases his profound impact on the sport. Undoubtedly, Bill Elliott is among the greatest and most successful drivers in the storied history of NASCAR. However, in 2003, he decided to step away from racing in NASCAR. Join us as we explore Bill Elliott's journey and why he quit racing for NASCAR.
Your future still uncertain. Does it make it harder to slowly walk away, or do you want to come back full-time next year?
Well, I still got some decisions to make between myself and these guys, and we'll just figure it out as the step goes on.
Wild Bill spent his formative years as William Clyde Elliott in the picturesque town of Dawsonville, Georgia. Born on October 8, 1955, he hailed from a lineage of Elliots with deep roots in this close-knit community. Bill was the youngest of 3 boys, named after 2 of his relatives. His father, Irving George Elliott Jr., led a dual life as he managed a thriving lumber company while harboring a deep-seated passion for racing that would leave an indelible mark on his sons.
Started in racing. My father was involved even way in the early 60s. He never drove. He owned race cars, had different people drive them.
In the later chapters of his life, Elliott Sr. ventured into the world of speed and horsepower, establishing a speed shop where Bill's older brothers, Ernie and Dan, found their calling. As time unfurled, this modest speed shop would evolve into the very first Ford dealership in the area, symbolizing the beginning of a remarkable journey in motorsports that would forever etch the name Bill Elliott into the annals of racing history. Elliott's first time in a race car was in 1976. The car was owned by his father, George Elliott. His first race was at the Winston Cup Series at Rockingham. Being a rookie, he qualified 34th in a field of 36 cars and finished 33rd, lasting only 32 laps before the oil pump in the Ford Torino he was driving failed. Elliott would spend 5 years toiling at the Winston Cup without a corporate sponsor. He didn't win much, but in some races, he showed the ability to compete with veterans of the sport. However, during those years, he earned his first top 10 finish in mid-1997 and his first top 5 finish 2 years later in the same race after he replaced his Ford Torino with the Mercury Montega. In the fall of 1980, Bill received a significant boost when Harry Melling of Melling Racing offered $500 in sponsorship for the 1980 National 500 at Charlotte. This initial support marked the beginning of a partnership that expanded in 1981 to cover a 12-race schedule. During the 1981 season, Bill Elliott's performance was impressive, with 1 top 5 and 7 top 10 finishes in 13 races. Notably, the team secured their first pole position in the spring race at Darlington, signaling their growing presence in the racing world. In December that same year, Harry Melling bought the team from Bill's father, and Elliott's career took off. In 1983, Elliott proved he could race with the big boys, picking up 4 second-place finishes. That brought his total of second-place finishes to 8. In 1984, he gained full sponsorship from Coors to the tune of $400,000, and he won 3 races: the Michigan 400, the Miller High Life 500, and the American 500. The 1984 season would also mark the first time Elliott would win NASCAR's Most Popular Driver award, and he kept winning that award till 1988. The 1985 race season was Bill Elliott's best season in his entire career. He racked up 11 wins and 11 poles in 28 races. He also won the first ever Winston Million in NASCAR history. The Winston Million was a $1 million bonus fee for winning 3 out of 4 marquee events. Bill won the Daytona 500, the Southern 500, and the Winston 500. This glamorous win earned him $1 Million Bill and Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. In the 1986 season that followed, Bill won only 2 Michigan races. Bill became the first driver in NASCAR history to win 4 successive superspeedway races at one circuit with the season sweep at Michigan. Later at Talladega in 2003, Dale Earnhardt Jr. would tie the record. In addition to his remarkable season sweep, Bill Elliott clinched 4 pole positions and secured an impressive 4th place finish in the overall standings. Another highlight in his illustrious career came as a victory at the 1986 Winston All-Star Race, an event held in Atlanta. It held a special place in Bill's heart, as it was the circuit nearest in his hometown of Dawsonville. His triumph there made history, as he became the first winner of an all-star race outside of Charlotte, a record that stood until his son Chase claimed victory at the Bristol All-Star Race in 2020. Bill's most iconic moment where he made his most lasting accomplishments in NASCAR was in 1987. Bill won 6 races in the season, including a second Daytona 500 and dominating finish. He also won the Talladega 500, another race at Michigan, and 3 of the last 4 races in Charlotte, Rockingham, and Atlanta. Elliott finished second in the final point standings again, this time to Dale Earnhardt by 489 points. He also won 8 pole positions. Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott battled all year long. The most infamous moment was the pass in the grass. This happened at the 1987 Winston All-Star Race, when they both tangled on the front stretch at Charlotte. However, Elliott stole the show in 1987 by setting 2 NASCAR qualifying records. At the Daytona 500 for the season, he set the NASCAR speed record at 210.365 miles per hour. Then later at the season's Talladega Winston 500, he hit 212.809 miles per hour. Back then, you had to be brave to run that fast. The cars were only fitted with a tiny rear spoiler laid nearly flat, providing little stability to the race car. Elliott has been quoted saying that he wasn't sure he was coming back whenever he went out to qualify at Daytona or Talladega. Bill drove a Ford Thunderbird with an engine built by his brother, Ernie, and a transmission built by Dan in both record-breaking races. Unfortunately for other drivers trying to break the record after Bill's run, there was an accident with Bobby Allison that injured several fans, causing NASCAR to come up with the mandatory use of restrictor plates at Talladega and Daytona to keep speeds below 200 miles per hour. 1988 was remarkable for Bill. He won his first and only Winston Cup championship in NASCAR. He participated in 29 races, won 6, had 6 poles, and had 16 consecutive top 10 finishes. In every race he participated in for the 1988 season, there wasn't one where he finished out of the top 20. Unfortunately, in the 1989 season, Bill broke his wrist in a crash during testing at Daytona, and for several races during the first part of the season, he required relief. However, he did win 2 poles and 3 races and finished 6th in the championship. Bill Elliott struggled for a while, and Melling Racing parted ways with him. Overall, in 10 seasons from 1982 to 1991, Melling Racing set several NASCAR records, winning the Winston Million in 1985, winning the 1988 Winston Cup Championship, and winning 34 career races, all of these accomplishments with only Elliott. The success of Melling Racing may have ended after Elliott left at the end of 1991, but Elliott would be more successful in those later years. Elliott's new partners were Junior Johnson and Associates, and he found success immediately in the 1992 season, winning 4 consecutive races. However, his 1993 season was disappointing. He went winless for the first time in a decade. However, he had his first and only career win in the Xfinity Series, formerly known at the time as the Busch Grand National Series at the road courses of Watkins Glen. 1994 Bill didn't do so well, winning just a single race. That was his 3rd win in the Mountain Dew Southern 500 at Darlington. It was the 40th win of Elliott's career, and it would be the last roll 2001. For the 1995 season, Elliott would part ways with Junior Johnson and Associates and start his own Winston Cup race team. It was first named Elliott Hardy Racing, but was renamed Bill Elliott Racing in 1996 due to partnership changes. Bill suffered from the effects of another accident again in 1996, and he missed a few races. The following 1997 season was undoubtedly Elliott's best season as a driver statistically. He finished the season with 1 pole, 5 top 5 finishes, 14 top 10 finishes, and finishing 8th in the final point standings. Elliott did not win any races, but came extremely close on several occasions. 1999 was a disappointing season for Bill Elliott, and in early 2000, he announced that he was selling his equipment to championship-winning crew chief Ray Evernham to become part of Dodge's return to NASCAR. Elliott struggled during the entire 6 years as a driver and did not win a single race, but his fans still loved him nonetheless and voted him NASCAR's most popular driver. He would hold the record for 10 straight years as a most popular driver from 1991 to 2000, a record that would stand until 2013 when Dale Earnhardt Jr. would win his 11th straight award. Elliott started driving and winning again after selling his team to Ray Evernham. In the 2001 season, he enjoyed his first win in 7 years. He also won the pole for the 2001 Daytona 500. It would also be the 50th pole of his career. By winning the pole, Bill Elliott would become the first, and as of 2018, the only driver in NASCAR history to score his 50th career pole in the Daytona 500. For the 2002 season, he enjoyed back-to-back wins at the Pennsylvania 500 at Pocono and the Brickyard 500 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Elliott finished the 2002 season with 2 wins, 4 poles, 6 top 5s, and 13 top 10s, and for the 16th and final time in his career, Elliott was voted NASCAR's most popular driver. The 2003 season marked Bill Elliott's swan song as a full-time driver in NASCAR. He struggled through the initial 26 races of the season with only 5 top 10 finishes, resulting in a 16th place standing in the points. However, the fans saw a better driver in the later part of the season. In the final 10 races, Elliott pushed from 16th in points to an impressive 9th place finish in the overall standings. During this incredible stretch, he achieved top 15 finishes in all 10 races, claimed 5 top 5 finishes, secured 7 top 10 finishes, and notably led the most laps in 3 of the final 7 races. This extraordinary late season surge culminated in the final victory of Bill Elliott's illustrious career. Bill Elliott's illustrious career in NASCAR spans 37 years and is studded with accomplishments that place him among the sport's legends. With 55 pole positions, he stands proudly at the 8th spot in the all-time rankings, and his 44 victories solidify his position at NASCAR's all-time 16th place. Elliott's prowess on the track was unparalleled. He won almost every important race, with the notable exception being the elusive World 600, where he came close twice, finishing in 2nd place in 1982 and 1990. Despite his achievements, every journey must eventually find its end. In 2003, Bill bid farewell to full-time racing in NASCAR, marking the end of an era. However, he didn't entirely hang up his helmet. The following year in 2004, he took to the track for Evernham in 3 events and continued part-time driving for the team and other teams well into the late 2000s. The peak of Elliott's career undeniably resided between 1982 and 1991. After the 1991 season, he found it challenging to replicate the pinnacle of his success, particularly the extraordinary 1988 season, which is a testament to his exceptional skill and determination. Despite this, his legacy is a testament to his enduring talent and the mark he left on the world of NASCAR. As long as he's still alive, we'd probably still see him behind the wheel of a race car now and then. Bill still remembers how to drive and has recently made returns in the Xfinity Series. His son, Chase Elliott, is now a full-time competitor in the Cup Series at Hendrick Motorsports.